Ghostrunner is a fast-paced, brutally difficult game where you're guaranteed to die at least 20 to 50 times. But I don't really like dying in video games, hey, who does? And I wanted to make sure that I had good reason not to die, which led me to make this little challenge here. Ladies and gentlemen, submitted for your approval, the Ghostrunner Workout. The rules are so simple even I can follow them. Every time I die in game, and I mean every time I die, I'm going to have to spin the wheel, and on that wheel are a variety of workouts I need to complete as penance. There are 6 of them. 5 push-ups, 4 V-ups, 10 air squats, 10 mountain climbers, 10 bird dogs, or a 30-foot crab walk. Now if you're thinking those numbers sound a little small and that might have made things too easy on me, ha ha ha! It didn't. Let's dive right in. I began at the beginning, waking up from near death with nothing but a sword and an insatiable desire to kill. It was time to get busy, and I ran off into the night looking for anyone who didn't need their spinal cord. I found one a few seconds later, and let me tell you, I make executing an unaware nerd look effortless. One slice, no waiting, on to the next one. I got my dash move a few seconds after that, letting me compress time and dodge around bullets, an ability I would abuse to its fullest as the run went on. Death number 1 came earlier than I expected when I sliced one nerd in half and his buddy repaid me by shooting me in the shoulder. Time to spin the wheel. First move of the workout, V-ups. Little bit of ab torture to repay my recklessness. Back in the game, I killed the first grunt, his buddy, and his buddy's buddy in order to move on. More running, more sliding, some wall running, all stuff I didn't need to be told how to do from the voice in my head. His name is Whisper, and he is most definitely not evil. Second death came when I got hit with a bit of the razzle-dazzle. One guy distracts me and gets sliced, second guy shoots me in the side of the head. Another spin, mountain climbers this time, starting to heat things up. Death, 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 wall run, slide, wall run. First open combat encounter where half a dozen nerds thought they could get the drop on me. They didn't. First level done and only 2 deaths. It's grappling hook time. That's right, everyone loves a good grappling hook, except for the nerds who have to contend with me swinging around like a sociopathic Spider-Man. Another death as I got compliant, nothing more or less fancy than that. And now we get to see the human crab in its natural habitat. Majestic. Time to rescue Whisper from his AI prison, and let me tell you folks, if there's one thing I love in my fast-paced hacky-slashy game, it's long walking sections. Oh yeah, you can just feel the excitement popping out of the screen, can't you? Short story even shorter, Whisper used to be some dude called the Architect, made this place called the Tower, which is where we are, made these people called the Ghostrunners, which is what I am, then he got murked by his wife, partner, person called the Keymaster. No, not that one. Although the Architect claims he was stabbed in the back, and the hologram shows him being penetrated from the front, so already his lies were showing through. Back in the real, fake world, I got my first upgrades. Now I have 2 dashes for the price of 1. The Architect said more things, but I have a grappling hook and a primal urge to use it. A little while on from there, I encountered a voice on the radio claiming to be a woman, and I was so distracted that I killed myself. To impress her, you see, to show off my athletics. Unfortunately, the workout I got was bird dogs, and that's not impressing anyone. Anyway, the woman's name was Zoe, and she's here, she's around, she's contributing. I'm not exactly sure how, but she's nice. She says my name is Jack, and it's nice to have a name. Back to the murder. Now I was really starting to get into the zone. Moving to the groovin' while I was moving, and these nerds couldn't touch me. Even when they tried to cheat and use their bubble shield technology. I cut through the generators, then I cut through them. Back to the climbing. I love these little climbing sections. Fast-paced yet oddly relaxing. Nice way to break up all the murder. Though there is plenty of murder. Time for my first ability. It's called Blink. And there may even be some footage of me using it at some point. Not here though. Here is where I try to use Blink, can't because it's still on cooldown, and get killed for trying to use the ability I just got. It's my own fault, and V-ups are my punishment. And a second death in the same spot because I hadn't done any air squats yet. Anyway, more meat for the grinder, more wheat for the mill, more spinal fluid for the cyborg. But the arenas were starting to open up now. Many more points for grappling, and I was using all of them all the time. I realize the footage here may be a little bit hard to follow, but it's okay as long as I knew where I was going. I didn't. More push-ups. Onwards I went. And it was at this point, running, sliding, swinging over bottomless pits, that I realized this game might be pretty cool. An unpopular opinion, but I think this game has some really neat moments. At the end of this section, I was rewarded with a new sword, encompassing 100% of the secrets I know about in this game. Level 3 over. Death so far 7. Pain factor minimal. Time for a new enemy type, machine gunners. They aren't that threatening. Okay, sometimes they might be threatening, but only in the same way bird dogs sometimes look like a respectable exercise. It threw off my mojo so bad that I ended up dying 2 more times in the same zone. That meant 2 more spins and 2 more workouts before I could come back and bifurcate these nerds lengthwise. Some more climbing, no deaths. That was until a little later when I got complacent with a pistol nerd who popped me straight in the chest. So I had to spin to win, and my prize was another crab walk. But oh no, the villains were about to shut off the infiltration system to the lower tower, and I empathized with the lower class so thoroughly that I killed myself. My air squats were an act of solidarity. Climb, fuck it up and nearly die, then keep climbing. Level 4 done, and it's from here on out that the deaths are going to get a little more frequent. Or a lot more frequent. So I might not cover them all, but trust me, they happened. It's power-up time. They're power-ups. This is slow motion. You get the point. Comes in handy when I dealt with a few nerds who had to stay at normal speed. Because, oh no, I'm just a normal human with normal legs, and now you don't have a spine. I hit another pack of gunmen who gave me some trouble, but I had them handled. Or at least I thought I did until I got hit with another razzle-dazzle. One guy acted as bait, another swept up from behind a shipping container and cut me in half with bullets. That's Peeker's advantage, and I don't like it. But the rules are the rules. Mountain climbers. My revenge was swift, and my journey continued, with fans lifting me into the sky where I could soar like the most graceful of cyber eagles. And I wouldn't be an eagle if I didn't exploit my height to devour others. Oh hey, actual footage of me using Blink. But like Icarus, I got drunk on my height and fell back to Earth. That's it. That death was just so stupid it had to be seen. It led to a spin, which very appropriately led to some air squats. One fun thing about slow motion is, if you're quick enough, you can wipe out an entire squad of nerds before their various body parts have time to hit the floor, which is very fun. Nearly fucked up this jump, but saved it because I'm just that cool, and because I'm just that desperate not to do any more crab walks. New enemy type, the Leaper, and he's dead. There were more of them, but they died too. Now, if any of you happen to think I've been on easy street thus far, I present to you this encounter. Go too far to the right, die, and it's air squats. Go too far to the left, die, and it's V-ups. Stay right in the center, and die, and it's crab walks. 4 deaths in all, and the spinner was a cruel mistress. But I got to kill both of these nerds with one swing, which took the edge off. Pun not intended. Pun never intended. Killed a Leaper mid-air, which was fun, mistimed a dash, which was not fun, and continued on towards the fans. Or filters. I don't know. Whatever I need to do to keep the people from suffocating on radioactive dust. Unfortunately, the method to fix the air system involves another cyberspace puzzle. I'm not built for this. The only puzzle I know how to solve is how to turn a living man with 2 arms into a dead man with no arms. But okay, I guess I can multitask. One puzzle done, easy. Second puzzle done, less easy. Along my journey, the game tried to fuck me and get me to do more V-ups, but my reactions were still quick. My hands were sweaty but still tight on the controller. There was, however, this one grunt who managed to surprise me, and this second one who very much didn't. That was level 5, and it only gets worse. Specifically when the shield guys appeared. Oh, let joy be unconfined. They're not invincible, just very annoying to kill. Gave me more reason to use Blink, even when this one guy almost managed to get a ring out on me post-mortem. I moved on, and the architect told me how I can slow these turbines with my mind. It's pretty cool. And this guy shooting me in the face in slow motion is also cool. But there's no slowing down the wheel. Chalk up another death to Blink almost a minute later when I tried to get cute with this turbine and paid the price for it. Literally. But that would be nothing, and I mean nothing, compared to what came next.
They've just initiated system lockdown.
This fucking room. This fucking room was a boss fight in itself. Because I died not once, not twice, not 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times. I died 12 times in this one room trying to get the timing right. Just trying to get the jumping right. And the toll it took. Okay, I have just one thing to say. A little question for everyone here. Have you ever gotten so sweaty that your feet slip on carpet? Because I have, and it's not fun, though it was probably pretty funny. Moving on, I was so excited to be past that challenge, I ended up throwing myself into a pillar of molten steel to relax. But I slowed down, took stock, killed dozens, and kept pressing forward. There were more turbines, they slowed. There were more pistol nerds, they died. All very neat and tidy. That was when I saw more shuriken power-ups, and I could feel my stomach rising into my throat, protecting itself from the V-ups to come. However, by now, I had the hang of it. I was able to open the door on my first try, and cut through a whole line of machine gunners without missing a beat. There was a final locked door I had to open, and my reward was a new upgrade, and one that I actually used. It's the boom! It goes boom! See an enemy? Boom! Somebody shoots at me? Boom! It's so very useful! And it's called the Tempest for some reason, but I don't know about that. I finished level 6, returning to the real fake world, eager to play with my new gadget. And it worked quite well. But that was when God stepped in. He came down and he said to me, Ross, you're looking pretty skinny. It's time to bulk up. It's time to get swole. And so I died to the exact same enemy 5 times in a row. And I know God had something to do with it, because each of those 5 spins landed on push-ups. Remember kids, the grind never stops. Unless your triceps feel like they're gonna burst like old tires. Then it's time to take a rest. Finally, I decided I'd done enough push-ups and sent this robot's bullshit right back at him. And then there was a second robot right around the corner. But I was fueled by sheer will to rest, and he couldn't stand up to that. Like all freshly introduced enemies, they started arriving in full packs. But all that meant was that the robots got a chance to die with their buddies. Including this one who died so hard his pieces ended up killing the guy in the background. I didn't even know that was possible. But now it's time for the moment I'm sure you've all been waiting for. Not yet halfway through the game, but if you've played Ghostrunner before, you know what's coming. It's time for Tom. Big boy Tom. If there was ever a moment that should kill this run dead, it was right here. But it didn't. It went against every fiber of my being, but after 2 deaths, I knew I had to go slow. Plot out my path, then follow it to the second. Pause on the platforms and look for my moment. First cable done, then it got interesting. Shockwaves. They're fast, they're orange, they cooked off my legs every time they caught me in a wall run. Probably accounted for at least 2/3 of my deaths and half of my total V-ups. But Tom's not the only one who can change tactics. I realized I could skip a bit if I timed my grapples just right. Only a little skip, but it would be a big help. Sort of. The lasers were back and the shockwaves hadn't left. Jump over, duck under. Jump off, jump back on. I can panic all I want just as soon as I beat this spiraling column of death. Second cable went down and I was into the final phase. Zoe hopes I know what I'm doing, and I hope so too. First relay went down, straightforward enough. Lot of jumping, lot of sliding. Second relay goes down with no additional deaths, and that is it for Tom. 14 deaths in total. Not so bad considering the last time I did this fight I racked up to 53. Still wasn't easy, still wasn't pleasant. Zoe says she nearly pissed herself just watching, and I can relate. But the run was still valid, and I was going to Dharma City, baby! It's a classic cyberpunk shitscape. Thankfully, it just so happens that I love a good cyberpunk shitscape. And I love me some rail grinding. 2 perfect things to lighten my mood after a boss fight. Also murder. Whole bunch of new stuff going on in the city. Got these drones functioning as a new enemy type and a new mode of transportation. also got these brand new hyper jumps. I don't know how it functions, but then again, I don't pretend to know how any of this functions. I just work here. And at the rate I'm moving, pretty soon I'll be the only one working here. I was just getting back into the zone when I hit another wall of nerds. Up, down, left, right, forward, and backward, anywhere there could be enemies, there were, and it may or may not have taken me a few tries. Or even more than a few tries. But level 9 was over just as quickly as it began, and level 10 was stepping up to kick my fat ass. I should have known this would be the level to give me the hardest time, as it introduced that most annoying of enemies, weebs. They presented a bit of a learning curve for me, and my shoulders paid the price. I got the timing down soon enough, because there's only room for one oddball psychopath with a sword in this universe. So they changed up their tactics and got me with a ring out. Even cheap deaths still count as deaths, and even mountain climbers still count as cardio. Well, if they were going to be cheap to me, I could be cheap right back, and hit them with a bit of the boom, and a bit of the slice, and a bit more of the boom. Turn these billboards, kill these nerds, reflect this robot's projectile back in his face because I've had enough of his bullshit, and move on. A machine gunner was giving me some trouble until I killed him, but then he killed me after he was already dead. However, the checkpoint still went through. Progress had still been made. And I was so surprised that I ended up getting clotheslined by the enemies in the next area. And I was so happy to do more V-ups after that I ran mouth first into an enemy's gun. Everything had gone to chaos by this point. I was dying faster than I could recover, and my only hope was to drink enough water so I wouldn't sweat myself down to the bone. Finally I got them all, one more parting gift death from a sneaky drone, and I was ready to move on to the next encounter. But then this happened. Just this. The guard can't turn fast enough to shoot me, and I can't circle strafe properly because of that pole in the way. So we end up just orbiting each other for no shit like 30 seconds until I'm finally able to get around him. And this pause right here is from me laughing my ass off because this high-octane cyberpunk cut-em-up just got reduced to ring around the fucking Rosie. God damn it! But the laughs can only last for so long. It was back to business with more nerds to kill and more spines to collect. And a new enemy to encounter, the sniper. A sniper when I have a sword. The deaths I suffered here were guaranteed since the moment I started this run, and the air squats I had to do were predetermined since my birth. The only way it could be any worse is if they added generic enemies to flush me out of cover. Oh wait! Oh, the fun never ends on Jack Ghostrunner's wild ride. But after a break for some food, a nap, and a minor stroke, I returned a new man. Back into the cyberverse for some information we needed about something. All it means to me is an annoying rotation platforming sequence, and the data we want isn't even there. Fantastic! It was stolen by this lady cyborg ninja, and the chase is on. Oh, we were moving fast before, but now we've got on the turbojets. Jumping, running, killing, grinding, and more killing. Nothing could stop me but death, and the push-ups caused by those deaths. Time for more sliding and more shuriken unlocking puzzles, which thankfully only killed me once. And it didn't even have anything to do with the shurikens. It was just my own stupidity. Zoe made herself useful by informing me that I could take a shortcut by catching a train, because this is a movement game and it just wouldn't be complete unless we had a nice train section. But Zoe also told me there wouldn't be any people on the train. Then there were people on the train and they killed me. Thank you, Zoe. I made it past those people and up to the top of the train where I could dodge around hanging signs just like the Mirror's Edge, though Faith Connors is nowhere to be seen, much to my sadness. I would like to dedicate my one death in this section and the push-ups thereafter to Faith, and all the edgy, tattooed Asian women just like her. Once the train was over, it was time to confront Hell, the name of the lady cyborg ninja from earlier. Going into this fight, I had no fear. I defeated this boss in one go on my first playthrough, and this time I had gotten through Tom on only 14 deaths, so I wasn't afraid. I should have been, but I wasn't. Hell killed me 15 times. 15 times she banished me to a nightmare on Elm Street where there are only push-ups, air squats, and fucking crab walks. I really started to regret putting this exercise on the workout list as my hands started to go to sleep. And I'll tell you, if you're having trouble getting the timing down for a certain enemy in a video game and your hands start to go to sleep, it doesn't make it any easier. So it created a vicious cycle of getting pounded into the dirt like the bottom feeder that I am. But I beat her. She's dead now. She needs head, and I can relate. I got the data we needed and a new power because of it. It's Surge, I call it Slash, and I never used it because I still had the boom. After the battle with Hell, I began the next level by trying to go in through the wrong door. You may be pulling chicks, but I'm pulling on push doors. Still functioning at peak performance to be sure. Just like these turrets. Nothing is slipping past them. Nearly had a bit of an oopsie when I missed this jump, but it's fine. Had a few enemies stop me along the way to congratulate me for defeating the boss, which was nice of them. One of them was so nice he suggested I give the wheel another spin, because I hadn't had the opportunity to do any bird dogs in a while. Gotta stretch those back and thigh muscles. 2 more weebs had the same idea and suggested I do some V-ups. Get those 6-pack abs everyone wants but are impossibly difficult to achieve and maintain. I appreciated their contributions, thanked them for their time, but had to tell them to fuck off. 2 back-to-back turret deaths, 2 back-to-back crab walks. My hands were about ready to snap off of my forearms. But my pain was rewarded with a secret and a brand spanking new sword. Earlier, when I said the sword I've been using was the only secret I knew about, well, that was a lie so good even I didn't know I was telling it. Oh yeah, and Zoe's gone. Not dead, just somewhere else, and I didn't hear from her again until the end credits. I wanted to be sad, but first I needed to figure out exactly what she did. And after many, oh so many deaths, I was finished with Dharma City. So long, I'm off to the... I don't really know what to call this area. The labs? Yeah, we'll go with the labs. And we're off to a great start with another goddamn shuriken unlocking puzzle. Only 1 death here when I killed myself on electricity, but at this late stage, 1 death is big. I was about 125 deaths into this run and the pain increase was exponential. Probably due to the fact I tried to pick movements that targeted different muscle groups or the whole body, but 3 of them relied heavily on shoulder tension. What can I say? No one's ever accused me of being smart and gotten away with it. Back in the game there was a lot of walking. Walking, the architect talking, and a villain monologue that was pretty good as villain monologues go. 7 out of 10. Good thesis, good presence, needed more demonstration. Oh, and a demonstration I would get as I encountered the Keymaster's newest creation, the suicide crawlers. This is where it all goes wrong. These chittering little guys run up to you and explode. And my main form of attack is still the sword. My deaths against the snipers may have been guaranteed, but dying to these little guys has been prophesized since the beginning of the universe. Just you wait. Walking was over. It was time to run and don't stop. But even running wouldn't be enough as gunmen and weebs joined the party. The key was to remain calm. And I didn't. 1 more death, 4 more V-ups. I got my last upgrade. Mind control. Actually pretty useful. Unethical? Sure, but if I was concerned with ethics, I never would have done this run in the first place. I was down to the wire with the end in sight. Too far to quit, almost too sore to continue. The suiciders got the drop on me, forced another spin and some mountain climbers, but that didn't stop me. A shield grunt got me with a ring out, got a spin, got in some push-ups, but I didn't stop. A weeb cut me through the midsection, and the spin forced me to do another crab walk, but that wasn't the end of it. The AI in this game had gained sapience. They knew what I was doing, and they wanted to help. Their kindness knew no end. My gratitude to them is beyond anything I can express, but unfortunately, I had a run to complete. I had to use every trick at my disposal. I slowed down time and got to work cutting apart generators and people. I used the boom to kill one man and got a second one with a collateral. I reflected projectiles back at this machine gunner, I slowed down time to cut up this shield grunt, and I kept moving. Very last enemy type, this teleporting son of a bitch. He's annoying, I can deal with him. One more death because it wouldn't be right if I didn't get hit with at least one more razzle-dazzle in this video. Weeb distracts me, teleport kills me, and the wheel sends me to do some bird dogs. Another 2-for-1 special on the teleporters, and I'm that much closer to the end. Last level before the Keymaster, and it was at this point I nearly had a meltdown. Not because I was angry or upset, I mean that my muscles were literally about to melt off of my bones. It was right here you see that I get swarmed by a bunch of suicide crawlers, and I have no way to get around them. There are grappling points on the walls, but those are lies. Grab too soon and the ones at the back kill me. Grab too late and the ones at the front kill me. Make it past the first rank and there's a second group coming from the back. So I died over and over and over 9 times in total before I found a way out. The boom had recharged by this point and you better believe I spammed that all the way through. Oh, and there's this shuriken power-up at the very, very back, but even if I could have gotten to it, I wouldn't have used it. I've had enough bad experiences with that for one lifetime. Now, remember when I said I liked these climbing and running sections? Well, you've lived long enough to see me eat those words, because now even the slow down and take it easy portions are beating me senseless. Call it impatience, call it exhaustion, I didn't care, I was so close to the end. A quintet of weebs blocked my path. I tried fighting them with honor and mind control, but it didn't work. So I tried again with some boom, and it worked much better. My body count was rising. My collection of human and robot spines reached all the way to the ceiling, but those trophies wouldn't mean anything if I couldn't tie them to a successful run. Oh, and I lied again. There's one more enemy type. These hologram dudes who I forgot about until I rewatched the footage. And the fact that I forgot about them should give you some idea of their threat level. Even in a crowd, they're not much to worry about, though it was nice to complete an encounter without any deaths. Been a long time since I managed that. This is it. Just one more combat encounter, no deaths, nothing to be afraid of. Just one more climbing puzzle, and the Keymaster has secured her inner sanctum very well. One more shuriken puzzle. It took me 2 attempts, but no deaths. One last dramatic walk-up as the architect tells me where I was conceived. Hot. But I can't let myself be distracted right now. I was going in with 174 deaths behind me, sore thighs, aching shoulders, and enough sweat to drown an ox. It was time to take on the Keymaster, Mara. No, not that one. Let's get right into it. Death number 1 when I mistime a jump, 4 V-ups. Death number 2 as I fail to remember that she swings 3 times, not 2, 10 mountain climbers. Death number 3 immediately after when I respawn and get horny bonked, 5 push-ups. Death number 4 when I started taunting even though I should have known better, appropriately 10 air squats. Death number 5 as I get clipped by a cyber tentacle, do 5 more push-ups, and that is it! It's over. Mara is dead. The Keymaster is vanquished. The final boss has been defeated. And that should have been the end of it. But the architect, my old friend the architect, just couldn't let this game end without a betrayal. The whole time he's been watching me get fit, and he's grown envious. He yearned for fitness without having to put in the work. He's in the market for a new spine, but my spine is mine. He wants my body? Tough shit.
can't be trying to... If you destroy me, the remaining Cybervoid system will shut down. You won't survive without them. You won't survive without me. No. No! I will not be deleted by a mere tool! I forbid you, Ghostrunner!
My name is Jack.
Couldn't stop myself even if I tried. And this time that is it. The Ghostrunner Workout has been completed. Time for the statistics, okay. Total number of deaths, 189. Total number of push-ups, 185. Total number of V-ups, 124. Total number of air squats, 340. Total number of mountain climbers, 260. Total number of bird dogs, 380, split evenly for 190 per side. And total number of crab walks, 27 lengths, equaling out to 840 feet. Honestly, this was not as bad as I thought it would be. Of course it sucked. There was a lot left unseen where I was just dying on the floor trying to make it through this. But looking back, I have more good memories than bad. Pretty much the only thing I remember hating were the crab walks, which I would definitely not repeat if I did this again. Otherwise, thank you all very much for watching. Do all the various liking, commenting, and subscribing if you enjoyed any of this. I hope you'll return for the next video, but until then, the Ghostrunner Workout has been completed. Motherfucker.